I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedle dumb, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
This is based on the stories of Tarzan of the Apes by Edgar Rice Burroughs and The Legend of Tarzan by Walt Disney Television. Okay, the animation looks slightly less quality than the original, but for a Disney sequel, not bad, not bad. Phil Collins is back, hooray, and wow. Tarzan of Tarzan and Jane sounds nothing like Tarzan of Tarzan, the original movie. Like, there is no intro to this movie either. We just jump into it. Jane ditches Tarzan with an obviously lame excuse. The elephant and Turk, the monkey, try to catch up to her, and then they call her on it. She admits it's her and Tarzan's 1-year anniversary, and she wants to do something special. Elephant says Tarzan doesn't do well at human get-togethers, and we have a flashback. Tarzan and Jane are swinging through the trees, and a bunch of English ladies emerge from the bushes, and they start to clobber Tarzan with their umbrellas. What am I watching? Captain Gerald says goodbye and sails away, leaving all the women. Wait, what? Okay, sorry to be this guy, but like, Jane's shirt has one of those rectangle cleavage windows, which is fine, but they didn't draw the line. There's no cleavage. And it also disappears and reappears randomly. If you think less of me for noticing this, you're probably right to do so. Okay, Tarzan has tea with Jane and her friends, and the elephant and monkey Turk make fun of him, saying he'll be wearing pants soon. He doesn't like that, and he takes a big sip of toxic masculinity. Then panthers attack. And there's one panther yell that they just loop over and over and over. It's the same single panther sound, the same audio clip over and over, just wow, 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 wow. So now Turk planted that seed, and now it's in Tarzan's head, and he refuses to wear a suit just to make Jane happy. Come on, this isn't a first anniversary fight. This is like 3rd anniversary at the earliest. Tarzan sits on his thinking tree, and the professor, is that Jane's dad? The guy that looks like the Monopoly dude, climbs the tree and is like, I heard about your spat. And golly, having your father-in-law trying to smooth over a marital fight is like the biggest pair of symbolic pants one can possibly wear. Bagheera and his pals attack the gals now, and the girls end up using a stick to fight off the jaguars while they all float downstream on a fallen tree, as one does in the jungle. Jane looks a lot like Belle in this movie. So is this whole thing a flashback? So weird if this is the main story. Okay, there's Tarzan, and he's in a suit. Guess being a mighty jungle man just wasn't enough, and now she has to domesticate him as well. Everyone cries about the Little Mermaid giving up everything she is for a man. Here's the flip side of it. Tarzan becomes a bumbler who changes the very core of who he is to bend to his wife's demands. Yeah, you know, I'm sure in Tarzan 7, when Jane goes into labor, he's gonna get all flustered and swing to the wrong hospital tree by himself, forgetting his pregnant wife, because guys are such idiots in these situations, am I right? He still walks and moves like a gorilla, but he's in a suit. That's almost funny. The girls are lost in the woods, and the uppity girls are all complaining. Jane's idea is for them to take off their dresses to navigate the jungle easier. I'm not making this up. And you can also bet I'm going to remember this sweet advice / life hack if I'm ever stuck in the jungle with a bunch of ladies. So Tarzan is now dressed to the nines, and the ladies are going to end up looking like they live in the jungle. Swerve. And I can't help but think this is going to end with some sort of lesson about acceptance and asking people to change. And the panthers corner the gals, and oh, Tarzan's here, and he's back in his loincloth skivvies. The dramatic music bed plays, and he's going to kick some panther ass, and I'm 99% positive this is the same music bed the editors of the WWE used in the late 90s for their pay-per-view intros while they hyped the matches. The Undertaker and his Ministry of Darkness look to put the entire Federation under their satanic spell, but tonight, the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, is destined to stop the dead man. It's totally the same music bed. The Panthers keep stacking, but I'm pretty sure I meant to type stalking. And there's a real Ninja Turtle cartoon vibe where these impossible scenarios happen, where the Panthers are constantly stopped but never killed, like when Leonardo uses his swords on everything but the foot soldiers. Tarzan is back in his suit, and her friends sail away in a boat. Is this the end of the movie? We're 20 minutes in. Oh, okay, we come out of the flashback, so he wore that suit? Is this going to be like 3 stories with a wraparound narrative sort of thing? The animation style is different now. Weird. Jane says, all right, no party because of that flashback full of bizarre, one-in-a-million circumstances. Okay. Jane says, maybe they could just give each other presents. And that's also a bad idea that comes with another flashback. We get an updated Australian poacher from Rescuers 2, an evil human Lumiere with he's a large red-headed oaf. They joke they need Tarzan as a guide, but they will never find him. And suddenly, the saloon doors open and a hunter flies in and lands on his face. And Tarzan hangs in the doorway like a badass Spider-Man and smashes his shotgun. Yes. This is the Tarzan I want. The trio tell Tarzan they want to find diamonds, and Tarzan doesn't know what diamonds are. They tell Tarzan that girls love diamonds, and the primitive wheels start turning. They explain buying your gal a diamond should be 2 months of your salary. One of the bad guys says 2 months of Tarzan's salary isn't much, and that's pretty funny. Because Tarzan doesn't have a job, so he makes zero money. That's why that's funny. Tarzan asks Jane about English weddings, and she spins in a circle gushing about how amazing weddings are and how great diamond rings are, and our trap is set. Tarzan agrees to take them to the volcano for diamonds. Tarzan packs up his bumbling elephant friend with their crates, and one of the bad guys mentions to the others that the elephant should be careful because the crates are secretly full of explosives, and the other bad guy says if they explode, at least they will get the ivory. Nope, don't like that. 4 crocodiles attack Tarzan and grab each of their jaws with his hands and feet, so he's stretched spread eagle with the bad guys honestly inches underneath the open bottom part of his loincloth. That must be there for the adults, because that's awkwardly funny. Like, are they in a thrift store? Because I bet all they see is junk. Tarzan wrestles the alligators, and there's some pretty good fight animation here. Jane runs into Lumiere, and he basically tells her Tarzan is probably dead, but he'd be happy to take his place as Jane's husband. That's quite possibly the boldest pickup line I've ever heard. The gorillas warn Jane and Monopoly Man. Now, I know Tarzan can talk to gorillas, and I'm okay. I'll suspend disbelief that Jane also learned how to talk to gorillas, but Monopoly Man? Come on. The elephant is in the volcano with Tarzan and the bad guys. They mine and find some diamonds, and Elephant says, all this about rocks? Tarzan nods. Elephant looks right into the camera, breaks the fourth wall, and says, and they call us uncivilized. And I guess that was supposed to be a snap moment because they hold on the elephant and slowly fade to black. 2002 social commentary, timeless. Okay, now they found diamonds. Jane and Professor find them all, like everybody, and they turn on Tarzan and shoot at him, which of course sets off the volcano. They're trapped, and the old man has an idea, but no, it's so preposterous. He doesn't even want to say it aloud. His plan, Tarzan punches a hole in the volcano wall. Brilliant. I think a great twist would have been if they suddenly went to a live shot of a grade 8 science fair volcano. Like the movie becomes a stop motion as the characters burst out the side of someone's paper mache volcano and its hands playing with action figure. The camera pulls back, reveals another 27 similar volcanic 8th grade science fair entries, because making a paper mache volcano in elementary school is a rite of passage. The majority of kids do, thinking their idea is original. That's social commentary. The volcano erupts and Tarzan grabs Monopoly Man and Jane and surfs the magma wave on a piece of wood. Yeah, he does that. Jane asks if this is even possible, and Monopoly Man says, who cares? It's working. And that's what we call winking at the audience, folks, trying to make your crap writing into a nudge-nudge inside joke. The bad guys are arrested, and this flashback ends. I feel like Disney had a bunch of like Tarzan shorts for some reason, and this is where they ended up. Jane says, I don't see what that story had to do with their anniversary. And I know I literally just scolded them for winking at the audience, trying to make their disconnected writing into an inside joke, but this time it worked. Hey, I don't make the rules. The Monopoly Man starts dancing, and the gorilla says, hey, remember the time Tarzan danced? And just like that, we go into a third flashback. Okay, now they've altogether stopped trying. This is actually a lot funnier now. This is fun now. All right, do we see Tarzan dancing? Nope, of course not. We have a fleet of old-timey warplanes, and they shoot at stuff, and one pilot says he's now coming after Jane and has a black and white photo of her on his plane windshield. Doesn't longing at a picture of your love guarantee immediate death in these things? This is probably his final flight as well, then. He's going to retire, right? The plane goes by, and Tarzan calls it a big duck. We are soon to find out he's off by one letter. That's funny. He lands and his name is Bobby, and he and Jane embrace, and this new guy is pretty handsy with Jane. Tarzan is unimpressed. Bobby claims he wants to stop by. Do they have an address? Hold on. Her dad is like on fire, like actually on fire. Jane falls down a hole, and the new guy uses a vine and saves her. Oh no. Tarzan is about to save the burning man, but the new guy uses an extinguisher and saves the day before Tarzan can. Tarzan doesn't want to go for tea because he feels Bobby is, quote, a bad man. I think they make a pee joke, but I'm not 100% sure. Bobby the pilot starts going through their house yelling, where is it? Where is it? Over and over, and Jane doesn't hear him for some reason. He's looking for a music box. Wait a second. Is the Monopoly Man voiced by George Costanza? Jane finds the music box, and Robert tells her he remembers how she was a bad dancer. Jane gets mad, turns on some music, and says she's going to show him how well she can dance. and starts dancing for him. What, Jane? Come on. Watch out for Bobby, master of reverse psychology. Then Bobby's like, hey, Jane, I remember you were a terrible stripper, too. I know, come on. Ignore my gutter mind. This was actually so she would get the music box to play music. That was actually a pretty smart move. Bobby pulls out a gun and tells her the box is actually a code maker. Steals it and makes a run for it. I gotta say, Bobby is winning me over fast. He's like a handsome ninja spy with this epic cane that has like a diamond blade on the end. Tarzan finds the other guy Bobby shot down at the sky at the beginning of this flashback, and he tells Tarzan that Bobby is, quote, a bad man. He knew it! Bobby flies away with the tied up Jane. Tarzan attaches a bone to a spear and uses it as a grappling hook, and he climbs up the flying plane where a fight ensues. Jane lands the plane while Tarzan and Bobby wrestle on the wings. This is good stuff. Tarzan reuses his vine spear and stops the plane from going over a waterfall. He's lucky he used the strongest vine in the world that stops a plane. The plane stops as Bobby tries to escape, but he hears Jane scream as she's about to slip forward and fall into the propeller. Bobby hops back in and saves Jane. Flash forward, now he's in handcuffs. He blew it. He gave up freedom and went to jail because he was in love with someone else's wife and didn't want to watch her die. Yeah, we've all been there. Out of the flashback, it's an anniversary party. Tarzan is in a suit. He pulls out a ring. Jane says, is that from the diamond mine? And Tarzan says, yes. This romantic dialogue is getting hot. Pop song and ending montage. This was produced by Bob Roth. And if you want to know who Bob Roth is what Mike Tyson answers when you say, hey, Mike, what's the name of that famous guy with the afro who paints trees? Bob Roth. You can have that one.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance